Xi Wan'er was at her wits' end. Tan Lulu had been unwilling to let herself and her suffer a little loss since she was a child. Now she was deceived by Guanming. If she just let it go, then Xi Wan'er would really doubt that this was still her best friend? And to say the least, even if she decided not to post in the afternoon, with Tan Lulu's ability, she would still post on Weibo, and the result would still be the same. They could only give Guanming more money as compensation afterwards. The morning class passed quickly. Guanming and Lu Tao went to the cafeteria to eat together. Now that Guanming didn't need to pay for the meal, he generously treated Lu Tao to a meal. As a result, Lu Tao always looked at him as if he had admitted the wrong person. Look at him. I'm talking about the jar. What kind of windfall did you get, so generous? Guanming helps Yuan Pero raise medical expenses. He has always been frugal, but today he has become so generous. It is really surprising. Yesterday Tang Lei gave me more than 5,000, so I'm not short of money for the time being. What's going on? Tell me. Lu Tao became interested, and Guanming did not hide anything. He briefly explained what happened yesterday afternoon, which made Lu Tao's face twitch. You have old grudges with him, and he won't let you go anymore. I can't help you anymore, so you can take care of yourself. I'll leave first. Although he said so, Lu Tao showed no sign of getting up, and continued to eat. While scrolling through his phone, Guanming knew that he was waiting for Xi Wan'er's update. Speaking of the person Xi Wan'er likes, even Guanming is quite curious. Taozi, who do you think Xi Wan'er likes? It's really hard to say, as long as it's not you. Why did you say that? Maybe it was me? Guanming was quite unconvinced. Why did Xi Wan'er write to him in the morning, even though he was just using himself as a shield? TCH. Don't blush when you talk. If it were you, I would pay for all your meals this semester. Lu Tao curled his lips disdainfully and continued to scroll through his phone. Well, if it weren't for me, I would cover your meals for a week. Guanming also replied with a smile. Although he would lose, it would only be a week's meals, and he didn't spend any money. This bet seemed like Lu Tao was losing money, but in fact he was making a lot of money, so he naturally wouldn't care. Hey, it's Yuan Peru. Lu Tao suddenly looked at the door of the cafeteria. He was clearly concentrating on checking his mobile phone just now, but he didn't know how he moved so quickly. Yuan. Lu Tao stood up and was about to shout, but was held back by Guanming. Lu Tao couldn't help but be confused. When he was about to ask, he saw Guanming's face was gloomy, so he had to suppress his doubts and sit down himself. Yuan Pero looked over and immediately looked away. She went to get some ingredients, filled some rice, and walked to the corner to sit down. How unappetizing. The people eating next to him murmured a few times, and they all walked away with their plates, leaving Yuan Pero alone, like an abandoned animal. Lu Tao wanted to ask, but saw that Guanming's face was gloomier than before, and he was even more confused. His original intention to ask was suppressed again. Brother Lei, Guanming is there. At the entrance of the cafeteria, 7 or 8 people walked in surrounded by Tang Lei. Seeing this scene, everyone in the cafeteria focused their attention on Guanming. When Tang Lei saw that Lu Tao was there, he couldn't help but frown slightly. He turned around and looked around, and saw Yuan Pero eating alone with her head down. A sinister smile appeared on the corner of his mouth, and he led people towards Yuan Pero. Ugly, my eldest brother wants to eat here, why don't you get out of here? Tang Lei immediately guessed Tang Lei's thoughts and chased Yuan Pero away. Yuan Pero looked up at them, silently packed up and was about to leave. Tang Lei spoke, wait. I came here to eat in a good mood, but you ugly guy has upset my appetite. I am starving in the afternoon, so you have to give me some compensation. 1,800 yuan is enough. I won't make it difficult for you. I have no money. Yuan Pero replied weakly. No money. Pang. Tang Lei lifted the dinner plate, and it hit Yuan Peru's head directly. Almost all the soup stuck to Yuan Peru's hair. Yuan Peru's shoulders couldn't help shaking, and she gritted her teeth to prevent herself from crying. I'm sorry, I really don't have any money, I'll leave right away. Yuan Para said in a tearful tone, took the plate and left. Boom! Before taking 2 steps, Yuan Para was tripped and the plate fell far away. Yuan Para was lying on the ground, her hair was messy, and the half of her face that was not covered was exposed. Everyone nearby looked at Yuan Para with sympathy and disgust, but no one dared to stand up and say a word. You can't walk without eyes. Tang Lei pointed at Yuan Para and cursed. Snapped. The sound of angrily slapping the table attracted everyone's attention. Lu Tao picked up Guan Ming and cursed, Guan Ming, I really misjudged the person. You can still eat like this. Heartless thing. As the president of the Taekwondo club, Lu Tao's strength is not limited. Guan Ming's feet immediately left the ground. After cursing, Lu Tao angrily smashed Guan Ming on the table and walked towards Tang Lei. Tang Lei, you only know how to bully women. Lu Tao sneered, helped Yuan Para up from the ground and asked her to sit aside. Yuan Para cried and said thank you. Lu Tao, it's best to stay out of things that have nothing to do with you, otherwise I'll take care of you too. Tang Lei's face was not pretty. He did this just to stimulate Guan Ming, but he didn't want Lu Tao to move. Guan Ming didn't react at all. No. It doesn't matter, after dealing with Lu Tao, the same goes for dealing with Guan Ming. I will take care of this matter today. It's not just 1,000 yuan, take the money and get out. Lu Tao took out 1,000 yuan and threw it at Tang Lei's face. Tang Lei's face instantly darkened. Lu Tao, if you give me the money, it won't be 1,000, but 100,000. As long as you give me the money, I will never stop you. Otherwise, I'm afraid it won't be a good thing today. Tang Lei sneered and handed the money to the back. After a glance, a man about 1.8 meters tall and wearing a school uniform jumped out and put his foot on Lu Tao's stomach. Lu Tao was kicked away. After saying this, he actually took action directly. Tang Lei was quite ruthless. Lu Tao stood up, clenched his fist and threw it at him. The man obviously had actual combat experience. He ducked slightly and avoided it. Then he grabbed Lu Tao's arm and threw it over his shoulder. Lu Tao was immediately thrown to pieces. White. Lu Tao, keep your little money and go to the hospital. I'm giving you 1,000 yuan. Tang Lei came over, kicked Lu Tao, and smashed 1,000 yuan from his wallet on Lu Tao's face. However, the next moment, an unbelievable scene happened. Tang Lei's body suddenly flew out, hitting all the thugs, and the screams could not be heard. At the stairs on the 2nd floor, Xi Wan'er and Tan Lulu stood there quietly. Tan Lulu looked at the captured pictures with excitement on her face. Sister Wan'er, I told you that Guan Ming will definitely take action. How are you? Guan Ming ignored the shocked faces of the people around him and stepped forward to help Lu Tao up. Lu Tao nodded blankly. It happened so fast that he didn't even know when Guan Ming came over. How could you do it? Tang Lei was helped up by others. Those people looked at Guan Ming with frightened faces. No one dared to make a move. The tall man just now was the worst. At this time, his arms were drooped, and one of them was already disabled. After all, Guan Ming's attack just now, but take good care of him. After asking Lu Tao to sit down, Guan Ming walked over to Tang Lei. What do you want to do, Ahu? Do it for me. Tang Lei panicked. Ahu was the man who lost one arm. Hearing this, he gritted his teeth and rushed over. Guan Ming didn't even look at him, but grabbed his arm and swung it. Ahu drew an arc in the air. Afterwards, it hit the dining table, causing the girls next to me to scream. You were very happy just now, weren't you? You were very elegant, weren't you? Guan Ming stepped forward and grabbed Tang Lei's collar, pressed him on the table, and reached out to grab a piece of food from someone's dinner plate next to him. Put the rice into Tang Lei's mouth. It's shameful to waste food. Eat all the food you threw away just now. Guan Ming grabbed the food that Yuan Para had dropped from the ground and stuffed it into Tang Lei's mouth again. Tang Lei wanted to vomit, but Guan Ming grabbed his cheeks tightly. All the things were swallowed alive, and his face turned purple. The losers looked at them blankly, and no one dared to come forward. Guan Ming caught all the food spilled on the floor and fed it into Tang Lei's mouth. This scene shocked everyone. It is really so tough. There are still people who dare to do this to Tang Lei. While shocked, my heart was filled with pleasure. There were more than 1 or 2 people present who had been bullied by Tang Lei. What are you doing? Stop! Several security guards rushed in from outside the cafeteria, led by the dean of teachers, Fong Tang. When he saw Guan Ming, he suddenly had a headache. Why is it this ancestor again, and he has the control? Guan Ming let go of Tang Lei, and Tang Lei suddenly seemed to have opened a floodgate. He vomited in a turbulent way, and a large puddle of filth was disgusting. What's going on? Fong Tang asked angrily. Director Fong, Tang Lei brought people from outside the school to bully his classmates. I couldn't stand it anymore, so I took action. I was impulsive again. I will definitely write a letter of apology later. Guan Ming looked at Fong Tang with a smile, and Fong Tang had a face. The child twitched at that time. He has something on Guan Ming's head and can't touch him, but Tang Lei is not something he can afford to offend. Director Fong, this person is not a student of our school. A security guard has already stood up. Ahoo. He has a sinister face and is 25 or 6 years old. Everyone can tell it. Take him out and notify the police to pick him up. Tang Lei, it is forbidden to bring outsiders into the school. Forget it is your first time. Why are you guys standing there? Why don't you help him away? Fong Tang, after he finished speaking, he yelled at the people behind Tang Lei. Those people didn't dare to say anything, helped Tang Lei, who was vomiting until he couldn't stop, and left. Tang Lei, on the other hand, was being supported by his men while vomiting, but his eyes were always on Guan Ming's body viciously until he disappeared in the cafeteria. You're all gone too. Those who need to eat should eat, and those who need to do should go do what they need to do. Fong Tang shouted with a headache. I'll help you go to the academic affairs office. After the matter was over, Guan Ming went to help Wang Tao. Go help Yuan Peru, she injured her knee. Lu Tao's expression had softened, but he didn't understand Guan Ming's attitude towards Yuan Peru just now. Guan Ming's movements froze obviously, and he paused. That woman has nothing to do with me. Then I have nothing to do with you. Lu Tao suddenly became angry and pushed the light away. Someone from the Taekwondo club came over to help Lu Tao and Yuan Peru leave. Yuan Peru kept his head down, not daring to look at Guan Ming. Guan Ming shrugged and turned around to leave. He didn't want to explain. At the same time, Xi Wan'er's Weibo was finally updated, with only a few words. I want to be the person she protects. Below is a picture of Guan Ming kicking Tang Lei away just now. In the picture, Guan Ming has a serious look and a face as cold as ice. And because of the angle of the capture, he looks very handsome. Those who saw Weibo were excited. No one expected that the person Xi Wan'er liked was Guan Ming. On the way back to the classroom, there were always people looking at Guan Ming's back and talking about it. The men were angry and the women looked infatuated. Guan Ming was puzzled. The news in the cafeteria didn't spread so fast, and the attitudes of these people were too strange. Oh my goddess actually likes that sandbag. A newly transferred poor guy. Why, this is so wrong. Don't tell me that today's goddesses like those who are strong in fighting, but I'm not weak either. People dared to hit Tang Lei, do you dare? Along the way, Guan Ming still heard a lot of gossip and was suddenly confused. Could it be that Xi Wan'er said on Weibo that the person she liked was herself? Guan Ming naturally didn't believe that Xi Wan'er would really like him, so the only explanation was that Xi Wan'er was too soft and planned to forcefully use him as a shield. With Xi Wan'er's popularity, regardless of whether he is Xi Wan'er's boyfriend or not, as soon as Guan Ming posts on Weibo, he will immediately become the public enemy of the whole school. You don't have to think about the troubles you will have in the future. Whether you can still practice well or not, Guan Ming has a headache. Just drop out of school. Guan Ming killed the idea as soon as it appeared. He didn't want to become a crazy cultivator who was out of touch with society. Ah. Since you want to play, then I will play with you to the end. With a smile on his lips, Guan Ming turned around and returned to the canteen, because Xi Wan'er was definitely still there. Sure enough, at the entrance of the cafeteria, Tan Lulu and Xi Wan'er were holding hands and preparing to leave. When they saw Guan Ming turning back, they were obviously stunned. Guan Ming was very direct, walked over and pushed Tan Lulu away, put his big hands around Xi Wan'er's waist, and leaned slightly. Xi Wan'er was immediately confused. Just when she was about to speak, her pink lips were blocked by Guan Ming, her pupils gradually dilated, and the expression on her face was so wonderful. He was actually forcibly kissed. Xi Wan'er was completely stunned, her eyes widened, and she forgot to turn off the door for a moment. Tan Lulu stood aside and opened her mouth in an O shape. There was a lot of discussion at the entrance of the cafeteria. The sound of rattling continued, and Xi Wan'er was finally awakened. She pushed Guan Ming away, glared at Guan Ming and shouted, "What are you doing?" Guan Ming remained calm, with a warm smile on his lips, and magically took out a small red flower from his back. Well, can he say that he picked it from the grass bed on the way here? Xi Wan'er, actually I fell in love with you the first time I met you. I saw your Weibo and I was very happy, so I chose to respond to you in this way. You're crazy. Xi Wan'er cursed for the first time. The first kiss she had held for 20 years was snatched away by Guan Ming, and Xi Wan'er's eyes could almost burst into flames. Sister Wan'er. Tan Lulu quickly came over and whispered to Xi Wan'er. Go away. Xi Wan'er was furious at this moment, and she never thought of the Weibo she just sent. Oh. After Guan Ming heard this, his expression became a little sad. It turns out that you don't like me at all. What you said on Weibo is all false. I'm sorry, it's just me who is too worried. Fight with me, little boy. At this time, Guan Ming was laughing in his heart. This was the effect he wanted. He would not believe that Xi Wan'er would say that she liked him in front of so many people. In this case, the Weibo statement will be self-defeating and I will be out of trouble. Wow, huh, kill two birds with one stone and take advantage. Xi Wan'er was stunned again. She was so busy getting angry that she completely forgot about the Weibo incident. She looked around. The entrance to the cafeteria was already surrounded by water, and everyone's eyes were on her. Xi Wan'er's face suddenly turned red. What to do now? You can't admit it. But if you don't admit it, wouldn't that be a slap in the face? She doesn't want. Could it be that there is really only Humph. Guan Ming, that damn bastard, is exactly what Lulu said. He actually dares to take advantage of me. Let's see how I kill you in the future. Thinking of this, Xi Wan'er's face turned even redder, her two hands touched each other unnaturally, and her head gradually lowered. Guan Ming shouted, "This is not good, no, I have to run away quickly. I'm really sorry for what happened just now. I'm leaving first." Without a second's hesitation, Guan Ming turned around and ran away. Wait. Xi Wan'er's words made Guan Ming freeze in his steps. He turned around with a bitter look on his face and saw Xi Wan'er's head lowered. What I said is true, I like you. The crowd of onlookers was excited. Most of the men collapsed, and most of the women were dumbfounded. This scene was really too dramatic, but coming from Xi Wan'er's own mouth, it was so real. I'll take you to the classroom. Guan Ming's face twitched, he grabbed Xi Wan'er's hand and left this place of right and wrong first. After walking to a certain corner, those strange eyes finally disappeared. Xi Wan'er broke free from Guan Ming's hand, kept a safe distance from Guan Ming, and looked at Guan Ming with murderous eyes. Xi Wan'er, what exactly do you want? Don't you like me? You will be my boyfriend from now on. Xi Wan'er said through gritted teeth. I want to be your boyfriend. We break up, that's it. Guan Ming had a terrible headache, so he turned around and left. That was my first kiss. If I say you abandoned me now, have you thought about the consequences? Xi Wan'er's eyes flashed with a hint of cunning, and the corners of her mouth were slightly raised because of this. You're cruel. Guan Ming smiled helplessly. Although it was indeed troublesome to be Xi Wan'er's shield now, being chased by all the boys in the school was even more troublesome. Abandoning Xi Wan'er is definitely 10 times more troublesome than being a shield. No, it should be 100 times more troublesome. Okay, then I will take your job, but I need to change the conditions. 100,000 yuan is too little. In this case, Guan Ming can only seek comfort from money. Ah, you are my boyfriend now. There is no point in asking my girlfriend for money. You should give me money to spend. Xi Wan'er said cutely as she blinked her eyes. But what Guan Ming saw was clearly the devil's smile, pointing at Xi Wan'er. He couldn't say a word for a long time, and finally gritted his teeth and said, "You're cruel. What they say is true." Xi Wan'er stuck out her tongue playfully. Guan Ming was too lazy to pay attention to her, snorted and turned around to leave. It wasn't until Guan Ming disappeared that Xi Wan'er's expression became calm and complicated. Within 3 seconds, she stopped her feet and kept cursing Guan Ming. "Sister Wan'er, where is Guan Ming?" Tan Lulu finally caught up and asked breathlessly. "Died." "Ah." Xi Wan'er walked over and poked Tan Lulu's head with her finger. "It's all your fault. You didn't post anything on Weibo. Now my first kiss has been taken away by that bastard. You compensate me." "Sister Wan'er, I didn't expect things to develop like this." "Oh, why did you kiss me?" Tan Lulu pushed Xi Wan'er away and asked aggrievedly. "Anyway, I was kissed. If I kiss you now, you will be kissing Guan Ming indirectly. It smells like fried chicken. Are you disgusting? Go buy water quickly. I want to rinse my mouth." Xi Wan'er glared at Tan Lulu and retched. Tan Lulu also took a few mouthfuls and ran away quickly. Tang Lei was sitting in a Land Rover in the campus parking lot. At this time, he had put on a new set of clothes and stared at the video playing on his phone with a gloomy face. One of the videos was of course a video of him being forced to eat. There were a lot of anonymous comments below, all of which were applauding. In another section, Guan Ming forcefully kissed Xi Wan'er. "Xi Wan'er, I've been chasing you for 2 years. You pretended to be noble, and now you're being played by trash like Guan Ming. Bitch, I'm going to fuck you first tonight. Guan Ming." Tang Lei almost spit out these 2 words from between his teeth. Ever since he was a child, no one has ever dared to do this to him. Do. Xiao Lei. Brother, I must Guan Ming die today.